All right, I'm here in Austin, Texas with Geoff Ballew of NVIDIA. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Barton.
So, when I think of NVIDIA, I always remember for hot graphical processing units and screaming gaming machines, et cetera, et cetera. But NVIDIA is not just for gaming anymore. What are you guys doing now, and how did you get there?
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that. Many people know NVIDIA from the graphics side, but a few years ago, we started adding a few extra features into our graphics chips because the graphics chips started getting a lot of math horsepower, raw math horsepower, and we realized that we could turn that into high-performance computing processors as well. So we added a few extra paths in the hardware, and we started building a suite of software so that this graphics processor could be used as a computing processor.
So, how did you sell this to people in HPC? Do they say, NVIDIA, that's that gaming company? Or is there a good overlap where people think, dang, if it can really render all those great images, I can see a good link between that and general computation?
Yeah, it's a terrific question. In many cases, we had a little bit of resistance when someone said, NVIDIA, don't you do graphics? But when we showed them the performance of this alternative computing architecture, where we put 10x the double precision floating point raw horsepower in a single GPU compared to a quad-core CPU, and at an application level, many customers are seeing 10 to 20x or even more performance speed up on their applications. That kind of performance advantage turns people's heads.
And so what specific industries would you say are using these GPGPUs?
It really spans a wide range. What we're seeing is a lot of adoption in seismic processing, people trying to find new pockets of oil and gas, medical, both for imaging, if you go in for a CAT scan or a CT, as well as people looking for new drugs to either cure diseases or help manage some others. There are many uses as well. Research communities are applying this raw computing horsepower to all sorts of problems. Whatever problem they have that is heavy-duty math, in many circumstances, a Tesla processor makes it faster.
And so there's programming that goes into this as well, right? It's not just hardware. There's the software component.
Yes, NVIDIA has invested substantially in a whole software tool set, as well as engendering an ecosystem with library partners and even consultants that can help you code. The code must be rewritten to run on the GPU. So some of our users write their own applications. They use our compiler, the CUDA tool set, and they basically program in C code, run that through the compiler, just like they're programming for a standard CPU. They're writing C code, they're using pointers, it's the same types of structures. There are other people, and they don't write their own code. So they use a standard library, or they buy a package from someone else, and they put a Tesla processor in their system, use this library, or use a third-party tool set or application, and they immediately get the benefits of that performance.
So then, how has this been as a cultural shift within NVIDIA? So you've got to get customers to take you seriously, but then how are the people who've worked on gaming chips different from the guys who work in the GPU? Do you have guys in sneakers and tie-dyed and tats in one end, and the other guys in, I don't know, pocket protectors on the other side?
Well, it really is an interesting mix, and one of the great things about NVIDIA is we're passionate about GPUs, and we want to make sure that GPUs are as valuable and useful in as many ways as possible. So this new computing segment is a whole new application for GPUs. And it's not just the same graphics engineers that we started with before. NVIDIA has hired very talented computing experts in architecture and hardware architecture, software architecture, compilers. So it's a natural growth of the GPU is the architectural platform, adding the computing hooks as well as the investment in the tool side is really just an expansion of that market. So it fits with the company culture very well because we're all excited about building better GPUs.
Cool. And then just going forward, what would you see the percentage of your business, to the extent you can talk about it, what is the split between pure just graphics and what is the computational side, and how do you see that going over time?
It's a great question, and obviously we can't talk about too much of the financial aspects, but you can look at NVIDIA's financial records for that. What I can say is the computing space, we're just at the very tip of this market, but we've had tremendous success in the past 3 years. So 3 years ago, nobody even heard of using GPUs for computation. And today, less than 3 years past, we're in the #2 largest supercomputer in the world, the Nebula system in China. That was just announced in May of this year. We have large-scale customers, both public and private, through research, government. Heavy hitters that use high-performance computing are turning their attention towards GPUs to solve larger and larger problems.
Excellent. Geoff Ballew, thank you so much.
Thanks, Barton.